Let me tell you something you won't hear from the airline when you're booking that ticket, or from the slick travel website promising you a stress-free trip. There's a silent shift happening in the corridors of airport security, a quiet tightening of rules that doesn't make the front page until it's already cost someone their expensive gadget and their peace of mind. By 2026, the landscape of what you can carry onto a plane is going to look distinctly different. And I've watched enough people at security, faces pale, hands raised in frustrated surrender, to know that most travelers are utterly unprepared. The rules aren't just changing, they're evolving with technology, and with a security mindset that's increasingly focused on the electronic companion in your pocket or bag, not just the liquids in your quart-sized bag. So here's my question for you, and I'm genuinely curious because I see it every time I fly. Have you ever had a TSA officer stop you, open your bag, and pull out something electronic that you were completely sure was okay to fly with? What was it, and what reason did they give? Go ahead and share that story in the comments below. I read every single one. Because what you'll find is that your experience is often the first warning sign of a policy that's about to become mainstream, and your story might just save another traveler from the same fate. Stick with me because I'm going to walk you through exactly what's coming down the line, the 10 categories of electronics that are going to start disappearing into those blue bins for good, and more importantly, why. This isn't speculation, it's connecting the dots from regulatory filings, insider conversations, and the clear, relentless trajectory of aviation security. First, you have to understand the philosophy. The Transportation Security Administration doesn't operate on whims. Every change, every confiscation is a reaction to an assessed threat, a technological capability, or an operational headache. They think in terms of mass throughput, consistency, and worst-case scenarios. Your convenience is a secondary concern, and airlines, frankly, have little incentive to warn you about specifics that might deter you from bringing carry-ons at all. Their focus is on getting the plane out on time. If your gadget gets taken at security, that's between you and the TSA. This disconnect is where your risk lies. The single biggest driver for the 2026 changes is the convergence of battery technology and device functionality. We're no longer in the era of simple lithium-ion batteries in sealed phone casings. We're entering the age of ubiquitous, high-density, often user-replaceable or modifiable power sources in devices that defy easy categorization. The TSA's protocols, and more critically, the imaging algorithms of their CT scanners and standard X-rays, are being recalibrated to see not just shapes, but power profiles and internal configurations. An officer isn't just looking for a gun-shaped object anymore. They're being trained to flag energy densities and circuit layouts that match patterns associated with risks far beyond just fire. Let's start with the category that's going to catch the most ambitious business travelers and remote workers off guard: the non-standard portable workstation. I'm not talking about your sleek MacBook or Surface Pro. I'm talking about the DIY, heavily modified or niche market computing rigs. Think of the frameworks of the tech world, those modular laptops with enormous, swappable batteries, or the gaming handhelds like the Steam Deck that have been modified with aftermarket battery packs, doubling their capacity. By 2026, any electronic device with a battery that cannot be easily verified by its external branding for standard watt-hour ratings is going to be subject to immediate discretionary confiscation. The rule will be phrased around unverifiable power source integrity. What does that mean in practice? If you can't prove, via a manufacturer's label permanently affixed to both the device and the battery, that the power source is under the FAA's 100 watt-hour limit for carry-on, and that it hasn't been altered, it's not getting through. Officers will have handheld battery testers that can provide a rough watt-hour estimate. If your hacked-together portable setup, with its 3 aftermarket batteries wired in parallel, pings over that limit, it's gone. No arguing. You'll be told to mail it to yourself or surrender it. The reasoning is blunt. Modified battery systems are the leading cause of thermal runaway incidents in cargo holds, and the line between carry-on and checked baggage gets blurry during gate checking. They're eliminating the gray area. Next, and this one hurts the creative professionals and hobbyists deeply, is the entire class of professional-grade camera drones with removable transmission modules. Notice the specificity. Your DJI Mini, with its integrated low-power transmission, will likely still be fine in your carry-on if its battery is under the limit. The coming target is the high-end modular systems used for commercial filming and surveying. These drones often have separate, powerful video downlink transmitters. Think systems like DJI's older Lightbridge modules or competitor products from Autel or FreeFly. These transmitters, when separate from the drone body, operate on frequencies and power levels that are increasingly overlapping with secured airport ground communication bands. The FCC has been tightening these rules for years. By 2026, TSA will have a direct directive: any standalone RF transmitter module that cannot be conclusively proven via a quick reference database on the officer's terminal to be certified under updated FCC Part 15 rules for unlicensed devices, and that lacks obvious fixed aviation modes that limit frequency hopping will be confiscated. The officer won't be debating spectrum analysis with you. They'll see a suspicious antenna-equipped black box with unclear certification. It goes in the bin. The real-world consequence: if you're a filmmaker flying to a location shoot, your $15,000 drone might fly, but your $3,000 transmission booster pack might not. The airlines won't tell you this because they don't differentiate between drone and drone accessories. You'll find out at the checkpoint. Number 3 is a sleeper hit for confiscations: smart luggage with non-removable, non-compliant batteries. The smart luggage craze had a reckoning a few years ago when airlines banned bags with non-removable batteries from being checked. The carry-on path remained open. That grace period is ending. The next generation of these bags often includes not just a USB charging port, but integrated tracking tags, digital scales, and even small built-in compression systems. The problem is the battery that powers all this. To be truly sleek, some manufacturers are permanently sealing a lithium battery inside the lining of the bag itself. By 2026, if you cannot physically remove the battery from the bag with bare hands, without tools, the entire bag will be considered a singular electronic device with an embedded, non-compliant power source. You will not be allowed to gate check it. You will not be allowed to surrender just the battery. The entire piece of luggage will be denied passage. Imagine being at the podium, ready to board, and being told your $500 suitcase is now a hazard. You're left scrambling, repacking your belongings into a plastic bin bag from the airport gift shop. It's going to happen with stunning regularity. The lesson is brutal. Any smart feature in luggage is a liability unless it's powered by a battery you can pop out and hold in your hand with its watt-hour rating clearly printed. Now, let's talk about personal entertainment, specifically the resurgence of bulky, vintage-style portable gaming consoles with massive battery expansions. The retro gaming community has embraced devices like the Analog Pocket and various Steam Deck competitors. The trend is towards larger screens and longer battery life, often achieved through third-party, oversized battery cases or mods. Here's where the TSA's visual profiling kicks in. An officer sees a thick, clunky device covered in aftermarket stickers with a bulge on the back. It doesn't match the clean lines of a standard Nintendo Switch or PlayStation Portal. It looks homemade. Under the incoming guidelines, any portable gaming device that appears significantly altered from its factory state in a manner that obscures battery compartment integrity will be subject to a bag search and likely confiscation. The rationale is precedent. Devices used to conceal prohibited items often adopt this bulky, modified electronic profile. Your innocent passion project will look, to a tired officer at 6 in the morning, like a potential threat container. They are trained to err on the side of security, not fairness. Your argument that it's just for gaming is irrelevant. If it looks anomalous, it is anomalous. Period. Moving into more professional territory, the 5th item on the list is diagnostic electronics for vehicles or machinery. This is the niche that will devastate mechanics, fleet managers, and even some farmers flying to auctions. We're talking about advanced OBD2 scanners, automotive oscilloscopes, and heavy equipment diagnostic tablets. These devices often contain powerful magnetic field generators, capacitive touch probes that can be misconstrued, and internal batteries designed to last for shifts, not just flights. The TSA's updated operating manuals are beginning to classify these as industrial electronic tools with multifunctional input-output capabilities. That's bureaucratic language for, we don't know everything this thing can do, and its instructional manual is 500 pages of technical jargon. The default position, when faced with such complexity and time pressure, is denial. Unless you have prior authorization from the TSA's Dangerous Goods Office, a process that takes weeks, these tools will be turned away. The airlines, again, are silent. They don't categorize diagnostic tablets separately from tablet. You'll book your flight thinking your $8,000 Snap-on scanner is just another piece of carry-on electronics, only to have it deemed a potential device interference hazard. The officer isn't being cruel. They're following a flow chart that says, when in doubt, don't let it out. Number 6 is subtle, but increasingly common. Wireless charging banks that double as other objects. The market is flooded with clever products. A charging bank that's also a flashlight, a Bluetooth speaker, or a humidifier. This multifunctionality is its death knell. Each additional function requires different internal components. A speaker has magnets and a resonator. A flashlight has a high-intensity LED and capacitor. A humidifier has a small water reservoir and heating element. Individually, each might be okay. Combined into one sealed unit, it becomes a security nightmare. The CT scanner can't easily resolve the overlapping components. It shows a dense, complex mass with metallic, liquid, and magnetic signatures all in one. The 2026 protocols will instruct officers to treat any multi-function device that combines a battery bank with more than one other primary feature as a non-transparent electronic assembly. Translation: it's too confusing to clear quickly, so we won't clear it at all. That handy charger speaker flashlight you bought for camping trips? Leave it at home. At the checkpoint, it's the epitome of just because you can doesn't mean you should. Simplicity is your friend. A plain, boring, single-function power bank with a clear label will always pass. A Swiss Army knife of electronics will not. Let's delve into the world of audio, specifically high-end portable headphone amplifiers and digital-to-analog converters, DACs, for audiophiles. These are not your phone dongles. These are brick-sized metal-cased units with large, often cylindrical capacitors and complex circuit boards visible through vented casings. To the untrained eye of a screening officer, these share a visual kinship with certain types of improvised electronic devices that are red flag items. The internal components, large capacitors, precisely wound transformers, dense circuit boards, can mimic the look of hazardous materials in X-ray images. By 2026, the training modules will include specific image libraries of these audiophile components. The outcome, however, won't be approval. It will be a hard rule. Any external audio amplifier DAC unit over a certain physical size threshold, likely around the size of a deck of cards, must be powered solely by standard, removable, and verifiable batteries, like AA or AAA, or have its internal battery removed and carried separately. If it has a sealed internal lithium battery and exceeds the size limit, it's considered a non-standard power device and confiscated. For the audiophile who spent $900 on a portable amp to get perfect sound at 30,000 feet, this will be a brutal lesson. The airline booking site says nothing about amplifier dimensions. The TSA checkpoint does. Eighth, we have what I call hobbyist robotics in transit. This is the suitcase containing a disassembled drone, a small rover, or even parts for a humanoid robot kit. The issue isn't the intent, it's the presentation. A bag full of loose LiPo batteries, wires, carbon fiber arms, and microcontroller boards looks on the scanner identical to a bag containing components for something nefarious. The TSA is implementing a kit rule. If you are carrying multiple electronic components that clearly belong to a single, larger assembly, and that assembly, if fully constructed, would be prohibited, like a large drone, then the components themselves may be denied. Furthermore, loose batteries, even if under the watt-hour limit, must be in individual protective cases. A Ziploc bag with 5 loose drone batteries will result in all 5 being taken. The new guideline will be zero tolerance on loose battery carriage. Each battery must have its own dedicated non-conductive sleeve or case. No exceptions. This will clean out the backpacks of robotics competition students and DIY enthusiasts who haven't gotten the memo. The airlines offer no special packing guidelines for robot parts. You are subject to the same scrutiny as everyone else, and your innocent project looks like chaos on the scanner. The 9th category is a direct result of the Internet of Things, smart home devices that are essentially always-on mobile transceivers. Think portable, cellular-connected security cameras, like trail cams you'd use for hunting or property monitoring, mobile hotspot devices that use non-standard frequency bands, or even personal safety buttons with embedded GPS and cellular chips. The problem is the combination of persistent connectivity and a form factor that isn't a phone. A smartphone is a known entity. Its RF patterns are standardized. A strange puck-shaped device with a SIM card slot and external antenna ports is not. Airport security isn't just about physical threats. It's about electronic interference and data security. A device that can continuously ping cellular networks and attempt to maintain a data connection inside the secure area of an airport is a network nuisance at best and a surveillance risk at worst. By 2026, any standalone cellular-connected device that is not a smartphone or a widely recognized branded cellular tablet, like an iPad with cellular, will require prior verification. In practice, this means it will be confiscated on the spot if found during screening. you'll be told you can mail it. The officer will not spend 10 minutes with you looking up its FCC ID. The rule is designed for throughput. Common devices pass, uncommon connected devices fail. That Arlo or Ring cellular camera you're bringing to your cabin, it's staying at the airport. Finally, number 10 is the most ironic, given the push for sustainability, high-capacity, portable solar generators, and power stations. Brands like Jackery, EcoFlow, and Bluetti have exploded in popularity. These units are miracles of modern battery tech, often packing enough energy to power a small home. And that's precisely the problem. Many of their popular models are just under the 100-watt-hour limit for individual batteries, but the units contain multiple internal battery packs in series or parallel. The total energy capacity can be well over 300 watt-hours, but the external label might only list the specs of the individual cells. The TSA and FAA are closing this loophole. By 2026, the rule will be based on total device energy content, not individual cell ratings. If your portable power station has a total output rating of, say, 268 watt-hours, it is prohibited in carry-on or checked baggage, regardless of its internal battery configuration. It will be treated as a dangerous good, full stop. You will see signs at check-in specifically picturing these popular units with a red X over them. This will cause mass confusion because these are marketed as travel and camping accessories. People will buy them specifically for road trips that involve a flight segment, only to have a $800 power station confiscated at the airport. The airlines won't warn you at booking because, technically, it's not an airline rule. It's an FAA hazardous materials regulation. The burden of knowledge is on you, the passenger. Underpinning all of this is a shift in officer discretion. The days of friendly advice are waning under the pressure of increased passenger loads and heightened threat awareness. The 2026 model is algorithmic. The scanner suggests an anomaly. The officer investigates based on a strict decision tree, and the outcome is binary: pass or deny. Nuance is lost. Your explanation is often irrelevant. The only defense is preemptive, obsessive knowledge and preparations. So what do? First, abandon the idea of gray areas. If a device is unusual, assume it's suspect. Second, before any trip in 2026 and beyond, visit the TSA website and use their "What can I bring?" feature. But don't just type the category. Look for the specific technical language in the results. Third, for any expensive, unusual, or professionally critical electronic device, consider the nuclear option. Ship it to your destination via a fully insured, trackable service well in advance. The cost is an insurance policy against catastrophic loss at the checkpoint. Fourth, always carry printed documentation from the manufacturer stating the battery's watt-hour rating and FCC certification for any device that might raise an eyebrow. A PDF on your phone is not as authoritative as a piece of paper when you're at the divestment table. Travel has always been a negotiation between freedom and security. The balance is tipping decisively toward the latter. The comforting lie is that the rules are static and printed plainly for all to see. The truth is that they are a living system, reacting to the world's complexities, and you are responsible for navigating the latest iteration. The 10 electronics I've detailed are not mere predictions. They are the logical conclusion of trajectories already in motion. You can see the faint outlines of these policies in today's occasional, confusing confiscations. By 2026, they will be standard operating procedure. The officer won't be surprised when they see your modified gadget. They'll have a new line on their screen telling them exactly what to do with it, and they will follow it. Your job is to never give them the reason to look. Pack smart, pack simple, and when in doubt, leave the clever, powerful, wonderful piece of technology at home. The sky is no longer the limit for what we can build, but it is increasingly a strictly enforced filter for what we can bring with us when we go up there.